What's going on YouTube? TeamSC back online here with another 3v3 game for you this evening. This is a game we played earlier today on the map New Richmond. And I thought it was pretty interesting. I do go for some mech and it ends up being quite the scrappy game. But this is my first time watching the replay, so there's a bunch of things I missed because I was kind of all over the place while playing this game. But let me go ahead and get started and introduce our players. We do have me spawning as the blue Terran. Here in the top right corner, my allies are none other than Blue Rare, who's a random Terran we matched with on ladder, and none other than Spec, the random Terran. Inside joke because he plays random. Spawning as Terran today, we are up against none other than Volcano from the clan 4 Harm with his ally 4 Harm Arvin, and their third ally is 4 Harm Last Engineer. So from the get-go we do have 2 Zerg and 1 Protoss against 3 Terran, so we are representing the Dominion, the Union, whatever Terran faction you fight for, the Raiders, and we are going to be fighting against the Zerg and the pesky Zerg, or Protoss, excuse me. So anyways, New Richmond, this is an interesting map because you do have 2 allies who spawn relatively close together. There is a small little walkway going into the expansion, so then kind of you and your ally defend these together because everything that attacks you is going to have to come into these chokes. After those first 2 bases, you can kind of go out and take gold in the middle of the map with a watchtower, which is a very strategic location to try to hold. Gives you a lot of vision as well as the extra gold base income, and then another expansion here. So if you're in this side, it is a little bit hard to secure your thirds because there's a lot of areas to attack, a lot of sky space here, and then just big ramp here, and then even like on the side here you can get attacked and sieged up from this little high ground area and whatnot. The third expansion on the other hand, the third ally ends up being by himself. As you can see, he has access to 1, 2, and 3 extra expansions fairly easily. They're just stepping stones for this player, but he does have quite a long walk to get to his allies and vice versa. So if you rush the third player, it's usually going to end up pretty bad for the last player. So anyways, I do opt to open up early game Hellions, get the factory going before even starting my second command center. Got a reactor going as well to try to get double Hellion production out because I know we're up against 2 Zergs and I don't want to take the risk actually getting an SCV scout in there. Do see a little forge here, so I have to be a little nervous and kind of scout and make sure there's no cannons everywhere on the map. But I did see that the Zerg had his speed research, as you can tell by the shimmer on the pool. So I know that there's some speedlings that are going to be coming out on the map. I do think it's a little awkward though because I actually have only scouted the main base and he didn't have too many drones, so I'm thinking he's going for like some kind of super ling all in. Don't have a scout on the other Zerg ally, but I'm assuming he's going for some units as well. And do take this watchtower and then it all comes crystal clear. I do see that Last Engineer does have the gold base hatchery, so I am talking with my allies and saying that we're going to have to try to take this out as well and get a little bit of damage done. But Last Engineer already has his Zerglings moving out on the map, going to be heading towards my base and actually being a little bit sneaky here. I do not have full vision of my base. He is researching the Overlord transportability and I have absolutely no vision that this is going to happen. I know there's some Hellions coming. I'm getting positioned at the ramp, but I still don't have vision of this base yet. Have not yet built another supply depot. They're about to throw a depot down right now, but it might be a little bit too late. Overlord is moving in, does have 8 Zerglings on the way. Speed should be finishing shortly and speed is done. Zerg is going to be going in, getting a free snipe on this SV, building a depot, and I see this, and I only have 2 Hellions right now, so this is enough Zerglings to take it out if I'm not careful. Going to be trying my best to micro these Hellions around. Zerglings going to be going for some of the workers. Zerglings splitting up a little bit, trying to get them to funnel between the command centers there. And just trying to do my best. Do have 4 Hellions now, so this should be enough to take care of these Zerglings. Going to be moving them in, and don't lose too much there. Thankfully, the units lost tab. We've lost a total of 5 units so far, but could have been much worse if we didn't have those Hellions early on. Do have the second base on the way as well. Meanwhile, my allies, Blue Rare is going for early game. Banshee is getting his command center up as well, and he does actually have double starport Banshees with Cloak on the way, so he's going to have some air harass moving out on the map here pretty soon. I am moving out with my Hellions. I do see this gold base and I want to do some damage to it. I don't want it to sit there uncontested and then get overrun by Zerg. So I'm going to be moving these Hellions on the map, going to be going in, getting a couple drone kills. They probably need to just go straight into the main base. It's going to take me forever to kill his hatchery, and this is a Protoss has already come to reinforce. Does have a Stalker and 1 Immortal here, which is going to eat up my Hellions. Do have to back out of there. Going to try to get the SCV off the tower, and SCV does go down, but did get to stay on the tower for quite some time. Going to be pushing in here so we can get a little bit of damage done. Going to go ahead and make the camera a little bit bigger so we can kind of see the whole angle. Couple links coming down the ramp. Do catch a couple of them off guard. Going to be going to finish these links. And I do see another Immortal and decide to back out of there. It's not worth losing the Hellions trying to get a couple of drone kills. More beneficial to keep your army alive if you're ever in this kind of situation than sacrifice it for a few worker kills. But meanwhile, we do have some roaches coming out for Volcano. He is already up to 30 bases, taking the gold base first to get that extra income boost. Waiting for Teal. Teal does have some Banshees on production. He's waiting, I guess, to get a critical mass of about 4 or so before he moves out. But meanwhile, we do have Zerglings doing a little counterattack, trying to run into my main base and do a little bit of damage. I do have a couple Hellions still left at home to do this. Haven't been able to get another wall up yet to protect myself against the Zerg. Hellion's going to be dealing with these Zerglings. What would I say? Hellion's cleaning up these Zerglings quite well. So a little bit of action ready. Do have the Banshees moving down the map. A couple roaches from Volcano are going to scout it, but these Banshees are going to be going and trying to do some damage. Meanwhile, Spec's still macroing behind this. He does have 2 bases up. Is going for some bio, but we do have Banshee Harass coming in for our ally. Does have Cloak. This Protoss surprisingly went for Robo Bay instead of just going for straight up Stargate, so he is going to have access to observers, but he does have 1 Void Ray on the map. Going to be getting Cloak going, going to be taking out a good amount of these workers. Void Ray does have Vision. The Photon Cannon was in range. Void Ray able to do a little bit of damage onto those Banshees, but these Banshees going to be going in. Is a Photon Overcharge going off, but unable to do anything against these Banshees. But the Observer is here. This Void Ray is going to be able to attack all of these Banshees. Going to be decloaking to save a little energy and just trying to micro these Banshees to get a little bit more work done. Photon Overcharge going off. Meanwhile, we do have Yellow pushing across the map, and these Banshees are going to get cleaned up in 3, 2, 1. Not too much left. Big push coming in here. Have a bunch of Hellions trying to get and do a little harass. Didn't get much done. A good amount of roaches coming here, and I do see the roaches going to attack my base. I'm trying to distract them, trying to run these Hellions past, but these roaches are going to be chasing me back home. Meanwhile, Engineer is splitting off his roaches, going up to my main base, and we do have a drop from Spec, going to be attacking him. I'm telling him that these roaches are attacking me, so he takes the opportunity to go ahead and attack the main base while they're all preoccupied. And we do have action going on everywhere, even Hellions microing here. Roach is going to be running into the main base, and a big drop here, going to be going straight for the Hydralisk Den of Volcano. A couple roaches coming out for Volcano, but not enough yet. But he is going to be having the rest of his army come home. Does need to get in those medevacs and try to boost out of there. And the medevac does make it out, so keeping the drop alive so they can do damage another day. Meanwhile, sneaking some Hellions down here to the gold base, going to be taking out a couple of drones, but there are a couple roaches back at my main base just doing some work. Handful of roaches getting some free kills. No army left at home at the moment to help defend that. Been a little too busy, preoccupied migrating my Hellions. Take a moment to go back to my main base to see what's going on, and actually losing a couple more Hellions. A little blunder on my part. Do have a couple Widow Mines burrowed here. Try to get some free snipes. Meanwhile, we do have Teal going in with the Banshees. Hydralisk Den did get some good damage. Going to be finishing up with the Banshees. Taking out the Hydra Den, going to be a little bit longer before Volcano can get some anti-air. But we do have Purple moving to go assist his orange ally. Meanwhile, Red moving up forward as well. Blue Rare going to be taking another base. And we do finally clean up those roaches at home. Did lose a good amount of workers though. This base was saturated really down to 3 SCVs and 1 of them mining on gas. So do have a 3rd command center up. Going to have to take a moment to re-macro and get a bunch of get some more production going. Still haven't even made the front wall because we've been all over the place. Spec going to be moving in with this bio bulk, going to be going down, try to do a little bit of harass to the orange base, but Purple has a good chunk of his army here. Immortal does get caught off guard. That is a big hit. Immortals are expensive units. You don't want to lose them, but we do have Volcano's Zerg Swarm coming in, going to be attacking this bio. A couple medevacs here, but it doesn't look like there's quite enough bio. There's a Colossus firing as well, but actually not losing much bio. Enough medevacs to keep them all well healed, but we do have another counter push. More roaches going to be pushing to my base. Do have a handful of Hellbats here and 1 siege tank. Roaches going to be going straight for the siege tank, but we do have a couple Hellbats fighting the roaches. They're not the best at dealing with roaches, so I'm going to be bringing the SVs off the line, trying to get some repairs going, trying to keep these Hellbats alive. Do need to get some more units out to deal with this threat back at home. Meanwhile, Yellow is taking the time to just expand, taking his 4th base as well. Has these roaches coming to my base, doing some good harass, keeping me just on the tip of my toes. I have not been able to really relax and recover, but Spec coming in, bringing in the drop, going to be saving the day with a couple of bio troops, helping to clean up that last roach. Good man, Spec. But anyways, we do have Yellow taking up to 4 bases. He is throwing down an Ultralisk Cavern and researching Chitinous plating at this moment. Meanwhile, he is getting Adrenal Glands for the Zerglings and also +1 melee attack. Purple, on the other hand, is still kind of macroing. Has a little bit of a weird build going. A couple of Robo units and a couple of Phoenixes. Just kind of interesting, but Spec going to be moving in, trying to do a little bit of damage, stimming up. Going to be pushing in. I'm going to be joining him here shortly. Going to be bringing the bio along, and a couple of Banelings here are going to scare these medevacs and Marines off. Going to be going back to the home base. Yellow moving across the map does have speedlings, does have speedling banelings. These lings are still 0-0, no upgrades at the moment. Does have adrenal glands coming though, which is one hell of an upgrade, especially once he starts getting the melee upgrades. Do see an overlord here, was about to push out on the map. Going to be moving that marine to kind of scare that overlord so they don't have complete vision. But meanwhile, we do have yellow Zerg over here, Mr. Last Engineer trying to get whatever damage he can getting done. Meanwhile, they're doing a fantastic job. This looks like a blunder maybe. He did cancel that base. I'm not sure if that was a mistake or if he misclicked. But going to be moving these tanks in and a couple Hellbats. Need to get this gold base under control, but then I see a whole bunch of Phoenixes coming in and 2 Void Rays. I had not been paying attention to the map. I didn't even realize Protoss had this much sky units. It's going to be taking a massive hit, losing all my tanks, even getting lifted off the ground, trying to save the one last tank. At this point, I'm pretty sure it's all over for me because I'm like, oh yeah, I've lost my army way too many times. One heck of a scrappy game. Even my last tank there going down. Purple and Ultra is going to be moving to my base. And all these things running in, but do get some Widowmines broed at the last minute. Managed to kill most of those Zerglings. I'm going to be lifting off that base too, but we do have a couple Ultralisk and some Colossus, some weird Protoss mix, Massive Observer, Colossus, Void Ray, everything coming in with a couple Ultralisk at the front. Their Titania's plating upgrade is finished, but these Ultras can take into massive hits with the Widowmines, trying to get these structures built to try to keep the Ultras from even getting in the first place. Wasn't able to get them up in time. Ultra's going to be doing massive damage to my base. Meanwhile, big drop from Spec and the Protoss main base, going to be taking out the expansion. Teal even moving in with some Bio and Ravens as well, going to be intercepting the Colossus and Void Rays returning home, along with Volcano's Orange Army. Meanwhile, Ultra's still at the main base, going to be in some damage, but he's going to be pulling Ultras back home to come trying to defend this. Managed to regroup with the enemy team right here, going to be cleaning up this Bio, but Spec still has this massive amount of Bio here, trying to morph some Banelings and trying to get them done in time, but sniping out the Banelings before they're even finished. This is 1-1 Bio. These Zerglings are still unupgraded, I believe, or they only have +1 attack, excuse me. Going to be running into the Protoss main base, and Protoss has actually lost his main base, and all of his workers have disappeared as well. So he is kind of on his last legs, doesn't have too much going on except for a handful of air army, which is keeping my siege tanks in check, but the Ultras are going to return home. Going to be forcing Spec to lift off in his dropship and run away. Phoenix is going to be chasing down these dropships, getting a couple snipes off. Unfortunately, there's no Bio in that medevac. Luckily for Spec, going to be having a boost recharge soon enough, and hopefully being able to get out of there. Purple trying to even take an offensive base, expanding on the other side of the map, desperate for income at this moment. But going to be taking this opportunity, did have a small amount of time to recover, going to be moving in with a couple of siege tanks and got some Widowmines this time to kind of make sure we stay safe against any Phoenix play that might come in. Going to be spreading out these Widowmines to make sure we do have our tanks in a good position, and it does look like we managed to tilt the tide and turn the pressure on the enemy team again with a good drop from Spec. Do have the Zerg and Protoss team on their feet. Did get his 4th base up, but doesn't have too much going as far as income and resources. Has a couple of workers here, going to be relocating them back to his new base, no doubt. But managed to kind of keep them on their toes, and right now we're kind of at a little standstill. Going to be taking this base with ease, going to even be burrowing a Widow Mine just to make sure no hatchery gets placed there again. If you ever play against the Zerg and have a Ling burrowed at your expansion, you know how it feels, so it's nice to do it as Terran once in a while. Meanwhile, Blue Rare taking another base. Spec still on 2 base, doing a lot of damage with these Bios. Does have 3-3 coming as well. I'm going to be working on taking another expansion here for Blue Rare. But does look like Zerg was trying to build a hatchery there, but that's not going to happen. These Terrans have expanded out too far. Going to be moving in the mech as well. Got some siege tanks and Widowmines moving in. Bio coming in from the left, but big push here. All the Ultralisk, Banelings, Roaches, and Skytoss are going to be coming in from the side. These Ultralists do have their Titania's plating upgrade, which makes them extremely good against Bio. There's only a handful of them here, but we'll see if they're going to be enough to clean up this Bio. Ultralists getting in some good Baneling connects and be taking out a good chunk of that Bio army. And big fight here, Void Rays, Phoenixes, Colossus, couple of tanks here for Spec. And going to be going in, a lot of Ultralisk, but more Bio coming here from Spec, and I don't think there's enough Ultralisk here to hold us off. Void Ray is going to be going down, Mothership Core coming down, and they are going to be forced to retreat. Not quite enough here to deal with all this Bio. Meanwhile, moving the mech in, taking care of Last Harm's remaining base available for mining, and the Bio is going to be streamlining across the map. Not worried about eliminating creep, scanning, doing anything, just going to be going straight for the heart of the Zerg player. Couple of lurkers here going to be kind of zoning them out, but Spec just going to go straight for this undefended base of Volcano, and then proceeding on to move forward. So we have the tanks and mines here inching in slowly, bio from Spec as well, and the bio from Blu-ray are going to be coming in as well. Purple's got not much left, a couple of Phoenixes and Colossus. Just started building more production, getting some workers, but it might be a little bit too late. Volcano does have a good amount of bases though, but it doesn't have a lot of army to show for it. I think he lost most of his stuff, or something happened to all of his stuff. I'm not even sure. But anyways, bio is going to be moving in. A couple of his army does get caught in stasis, but at this point it does not matter. There's nothing here to contest Spec's bio moving in, even regrouping, getting more and more tanks, more and more Widow Mines to move in. And that is it, ladies and gentlemen. GG. They have left the game. Let me know what you think. This was an action-packed game. I did as best as I could to comment, but it's always hard on 3 because there's action going on everywhere. Hope you enjoyed. Please leave a like, comment, subscribe. I look forward to reading your comments and seeing the likes. Help grow the StarCraft community scene. And until next time, ladies and gentlemen, have a good one.